Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Eddie Marcus. I want to talk to you a little bit about whiteness. Whiteness. I was just listening to some studies that indicates how prejudiceness, how racism and bigotry and white supremacy have always been a part of the American experience. Even when you think you've grown to be a little bit better than that, you find out that it is still number one. And as a candidate for President of the United States, without asking for any of your money, without asking for you to do anything for this campaign the way that white people do it for theirs, and am expecting each and every last one of you to carry forward this campaign because of the truth, because of the wonderfulness of it, and because it is not of a political party or a particular person, but it is a reference to the almighty ultimate power which we can't see, can't touch, can't feel, God. And it is not fear of white people. You know, it's amazing when you think about some of these things that goes on in this country, instigated by white people. We have all kinds of killings, all kinds of efforts to create a war, a race war. We have all kind of hate. We have this call for white supremacy, and all of this established by right-wingers and alt-right, and appears right now the Republican Party in the Senate, and along with the President and perhaps even the Supreme Court. And it is sickening that we, at this date, when you can have GPS, a satellite or satellites up in the out of sight, and millions of vehicles can travel to and fro all over the earth, not knowing where they're going except that they have asked GPS, and GPS can speak to millions of them at the same time, giving them precise information about where they are, how to get where they want to go, and when they're going to get there, and how long it will take. And when it comes down to we as people, we still treat each other as slaves and dogs. Why is that? Well, we know that none of us come here with that in our DNA. So we understand that hatred and bigotry has got to be taught. It has got to be taught. You got to learn it. And we understand how it starts with white people who came to this country, who annihilated the natives, who killed them and put them in little special pieces of land, stole and took their land. So they had fear of these people coming back to get vengeance. I guess that would scare anybody if you do some people that cold. And then to turn around and get black people and have them to build your nation for you, and you reap benefits from it forever while they struggle to survive. I guess that would cause a lot of fear as well. And here we are, 2020 at the door. 21st century, still lost, and still got white people trying to coerce black people and people of color to trust them, while they are at the southern border doing everything they possibly can to continue that hatred on people of color, while they are in Israel trying to do everything they possibly can to continue that persecution on people of color, while everywhere that white people get a chance to put a foothold, they are doing everything they possibly can to squash the existence of people of color. Isn't that something? The whole world now knows about white people. And then the President of the United States is enabling all of this hatred within this country and trying to instigate hatred across the world as if he is trying to prove to the world that there are none more evil than he is, and there is none with more right to be the greatest devil on earth. Well, what are we people of color to do about it? And what are those white people who do not believe in this stuff to do about it? Well, we have said that these things that are happening in our country and around the world are not new. We've had World War I, World War II. We've had other confrontations with other powers and other places throughout time for some of the same reasons. But what are we to do about this? We say our political thing needs changing, that we should have now a Democrat coming in, somebody that can beat Trump, and we're not too worried about what his policies are going to be. Just beat Trump, and we know it can't be as bad as Trump. That is the worst plan and strategy anybody can ever come up with. Yes, these atrocities have existed throughout our lifetime, no doubt. But never, ever have we in our lifetime, and I'm close to 70, have I seen anybody so indignant, someone is so hellish and demonic and despicable as the president we have today, United States, Donald Trump. And this guy isn't worried about what he's doing. He's out front trying to see if he can get another term, trying to create enough hatred to start, perhaps, a race war so he can be king of white people in America, as if they would win. There is something that has got to be done. And that is what this campaign that I offer to the American people is about. It's not trying to punish white people. We understand that white people are bought up. They got caught in something that they really had nothing to do with. Yeah, they got caught up with it. All of that hatred that is instituted and engaged in America, these people were caught up. These children were caught up. Their parents were caught up. They were taught evilness. They were taught hatred. They were taught bigotry. They were taught racism. And they do not know any better. But we who are victims of this hatred, the white people who are not participants in this kind of stuff, we realize that there is a difference. But with all that has happened over these past several years, and maybe I should say these past couple of decades, we should understand that at what is happening in our country today, returning to the status quo is not sufficient. As ugly as America has represented itself in the past 2.5 to 3 years, we're going to have to equal that and even do more in peace, in justice, in fairness, in compassion, in love and respect for one another, including those haters. And we as a people, as a Republican Party, as a Democratic Party, as black people and white people, we cannot do this on our own. We got to reach for an outside power, a true superior power, a power that has no color, a power that is invisible. You can't touch it, you can't feel it. But all of the evidence is all around us stating the fact that it is real. And I call it God, the kind that wants you to have peace and prosperity and freedom and joy and the fulfillment of your dreams. That has come up with a plan that will institute exactly those resources that every human being requires for survival. And not only that, make you a participant in the creative process whereby you have ownership in all that exists on this earth or in this country at the hands of man. Ownership. You don't need anyone talking about, give me control of the money and I care not who make the laws. Because the people will make the laws. And it will be made to benefit all people, white and black, racers and lovers. This is what this campaign is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Sure, I understand why white people are like they are. I understand why years ago Elijah Muhammad used to call them devils, because they act, not all of them, but most of them, maybe not most, but many of them act just like devils. They have the agenda of devils. They see things as devils. And they act like devils. But now it is time to defeat these devils by acting like God. Acting like God. The thing about acting like God is if we're real and do those things of God, then those powers that are required that we as human beings do not have, it challenges God to provide in any moment, in any instance, that which is required to make God, God, and not a friend of the devil. I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, I can talk about this for a while, but I'd rather that you spend a little bit of time at your breakfast table, your dinner tables, your coffee hour, and talk about these kinds of things yourselves. And consider the fact that the Republican Party nor the Democratic Party have any solutions for the problems of today. I propose God. And when I say God, I'm talking about the God. I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about Catholicism and Protestantism. I'm not talking about Baptists and Methodists and Pentecostals. I'm talking about God and respect and honor and love for God perpetuated in the way you treat one another. I'm talking about the reality of an existent God made real through we the people, that says no to white supremacy, that says no to racism, that says no to bigotry, that says no to trillionaires and billionaires and multimillionaires. I am representative of a God that says life to all of the people, not just in America, but all of the people on the face of the earth. And when those of you sit down and you think about how you want something to happen, you must realize that going back where you've been is not going to take you where you want to go. You're going to have to get on a different map. You might have to dial up a different GPS. And I'm suggesting that you do just that. And you ask for, as in heaven, so on earth. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.